to Hampton. Hampton fumbles the ball. The Giants recover for a touchdown.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. And welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. If you give this video maybe a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below, maybe share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you just so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, in our Veterans Day yesterday, there's a couple stories of two Giants who, played for the Giants. It was back a while ago. It was back in the early 40s. They went to World War II, and sadly they both lost their lives. But just in honor of all the servicemen and the servicewomen out there, thank you so much for what you do for our country. Thank you. I just want to read these stories off here, in honor of Veterans Day. And there's just too much here. Usually I'll write myself some notes or something like that, but I'm just going to, a lot of it's just like pretty much out of Wikipedia, okay? So I'll just go read it over, okay? So the first one is Al Blozis, okay? He played for the Giants from 1942 to 1944. He was drafted out of powerhouse Georgetown. Oh, yeah. In the 5th round of the 1942 draft. I mean, he was good. In college, he was good. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. He was 6'6", 250 pounds. All right, so he was good. As I said, unfortunately, he had a short pro career. But Al, Blozis was known as Al. He was born on January 5th, 1919 in Garfield, New Jersey. So he's a homegrown guy, okay? He attended William L. Dickerson High School in Jersey City, where he became well known for his skill in the discus throw and the shot put. Georgetown University won the AAU and the NCAA indoor and outdoor shot put titles 3 years in a row, from 1940 to 1942. His best shot put ever was 57 feet, 3/4 inches. Right. In 2015, he was inducted into the National Track and Field Hall of Fame. Good athlete. All right. He was drafted in the 5th round of the 1942 draft. He played offensive tackle for the New York Giants from 1942 to 1943 before entering the military in late 43. He was able to play in 3 games during the 1944 season while he was on furlough, okay? But his problem was trying to get into the armed forces because of his height, his size. They had, height and weight restrictions, okay? It says, curiously, the very size that made him so intimidating on the football field kept him out of the military until late 1943. After repeated attempts, Blozis finally persuaded the Army to waive its size limit and accept him. It took further persuading to get him from a desk job to the front lines. They would say, okay, we'll take you, but we'll just stick you on the desk. But he didn't want that. He wanted to fight for his country. So he was inducted into the United States Army on December 9th, 1943. He was first assigned to duty as a physical instructor at the Walter Reed General Hospital and then went through officer training at Fort Benning, where he set the Army's hand grenade throwing record with a toss of 94 yards, 2 feet 6.5 inches. He threw a hand grenade almost the length of a football field. Holy cow. He was commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant in the 28th Infantry Division. On January 31st, 1945, his platoon was in the mountains of France, scouting enemy lines, when 2 of his men, a sergeant and a private, failed to return from a patrol. He went out in search of them alone. He never returned. Blozis was first listed as missing, but in April 1945 his death was confirmed. His remains, were buried at the Lorraine American Cemetery and Memorial in France. The New York Giants retired his number 32 that he had worn. All right. Second player, Jack Lummus, also died in World War II. I'm going to get to him in just a second. United States Army honored Blozis by naming an athletic center in Frankfurt, Germany after him. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame in 1986. An apartment building in Jersey City, Al Blozis Hall, is named in his honor. So he was a true American. He was a big person, big man, but big-hearted. Absolute true hero in the utmost sense of the word. The next one is Jack Lummus. Okay, he only played one season for the Giants, 1941. He played 9 games. He was an end. He caught 1 pass for 5 yards. That was his entire career. He traveled to New York Giants training camp in Superior, Wisconsin as one of 30 players who made the Giants roster. He wore number 29, and he signed as a free agent and received a $100 monthly salary. He made the team as a rookie end and played in 9 games and caught 1 pass. On December 7th, 1941, which is the attack on Pearl Harbor, the Giants were playing their arch rival, the Brooklyn Dodgers. Around halftime, the Associated Press ticker in the press box gave out a message saying, "Airplanes identified as Japanese have attacked the American naval base at Pearl Harbor." The players continued to play the game because they knew nothing of the attacks. The Giants lost the game, 21-7, and 2 weeks later, they would meet the Chicago Bears in the NFL Championship game, which they would lose that one as well, too, 37-9. All right. But after that, he would enlist himself in the military. On October 11, 2015, okay, the Giants honored Lummus by inducting him into the New York Giants Ring of Honor. Okay, so Blozis got his number was retired. The Giants got Lummus into the Ring of Honor. All right. After the championship game was over, Giants lost 37-9. Lummus enlisted in the Marine Corps Reserve on January 30th, 1942, after finished basic training in Mainside Recruit Training Center in San Diego, California. All right. Since he had completed more than 2 years of university education, Lummus was sent to officers' training school in Virginia. In October 1942, and he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in December. Although he had enlisted early in 1942, Lummus' first action was in Iwo Jima, one of the worst battles of all time. You ever see guys? There's an old picture. There's about 6 or 7 guys or so. They're raising an American flag. It's a big long flag, and then they're raising it up. You know, that's on Iwo Jima. That's after we took the island. We raised the flag. He was the executive officer of F Company of the 2nd Battalion, 27th Marines, the 5th Marine Division. Lummus landed in the first wave on Iwo Jima on February 19, 1945. March 6th, Lummus was put in command of E Company's 3rd Rifle Platoon. 2 days later, the platoon was at the spearhead of an assault on an objective near Kitano Point. Lummus' athleticism and win-at-all-cost attitude instilled courage and then anger in his men. As Lummus charged forward, assaulting pillboxes on his own, his men watched as he survived several shrapnel hits, only to step on a landmine. Despite horrific damage to his legs, both legs were blown off. Lummus continued to push his men forward, demanding that they not stop for him. Tears turned to raging fury as E Company swept ahead an incredible 300 yards, overwhelming foxholes and pillboxes and bunkers, bolting across ravines and scrambling up ridges, blasting cave entrances and sniper pits. The spark that ignited the steamroller charge was the horrifying sight of their mortally wounded, indomitable commander and his fathomless courage. Seeing him, men knew what they had to do. Lummus was triaged and evacuated to the 5th Division Hospital, where doctors did all they could to save his life. Despite 18 pints of blood, transfusions, and their best efforts, the damage to Lummus's body was just too much, even for his big athletic frame. Before he died, Lummus said to one of the surgeons, "I guess the New York Giants have lost the services of a damn good end." "You're damn right we did, Jack. You're damn right." A few hours later, Lummus asked for a sip of coffee, after which he laid back, closed his eyes, smiled, and took his last breath. First Lieutenant Jack Lummus was only 29 years old. So sad. But to all the servicemen and servicewomen out there who make this, do all what you do to make this a free country, the greatest country in the world, thank you so much. And to Al Blozis and to Jack Lummus for what you did, thank you for showing us the courage, the guts, the determination, and for also making the National Football League, American football, the greatest sports in all the world. And not only that, but for making the New York Football Giants the greatest team in the whole world. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!